Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now this is a general-ish reading for Aries Sun, Cancer, Moon or Rising. Now I've decided to look at the Cancer, Moon or Rising for a while, considering that if you are Cancer Rising, then the North Node has just gone into your 12th house. That time of endings and deep dark secrets and soul movements and everything that comes along with that. And I'm recording this under the shadow period of the next Mercury retrograde apparently, which I have discovered. Normally you would be seeing a shuffle video up here, well, somewhere around there, and you will be seeing bits of it. I put it on pause while I cleared all the tarot decks away, then went to start it again and pressed stop accidentally without noticing, and I thought I was pressing record again. So hey ho, you've got the main shuffle, well, you've got the deck selection and you've got the oracle card shuffle, which means you missed a spectacular thing happening with the main tarot card shuffle, but we'll go on to that. You'll see the effects of it in a moment. Now, being a general reading rules apply, obviously. Timing's not absolute. You know, this is mainly for summer 2020, but it'll apply if it applies, when you get to it, and if you led to it later, hey, well, maybe it was useful for you then, wherever then will be. Now, roles, if there's someone else that appears in this reading, roles can be reversed. And like I said, timing's not absolute. Now, if you don't know what your moon or rising sign is, one, you must have just been led here to this video, but there's a link down below in the description for a free birth chart, so you can go and find it out. It's always a good idea to watch your rising sign as well as your moon. In ancient astrology, the rising sign was the even more important one. Now, while you're down there, there is also a Facebook group link, which is for this channel. So obviously I post these videos in case the notifications bell isn't working for you, if you're subscribed. By the way, please subscribe, it really helps. But there's also, I post other readers, the astrology videos that I'm watching and learning from, and sometimes the odd documentary that just catches my interest. But back to this, what I would like you to do before we go into this reading is ask a question. Now obviously I'm not going to know what it is, but pause the video if you have to. Just spend a moment thinking about all the questions that are around you currently and focus on one of them. Pick one of them, focus on it. Focus is to give the reading some energy. Energy in, energy out, hopefully. But be aware of all of the questions, because the cards will answer whatever they please to and not necessarily what you or I think is the most appropriate. Now these readings, this is an all or nothing reading. There is a past and a present in the spread. If the past and the present do not apply to you, this reading is not for you, or this reading is not for you at the moment, you know, whichever way you want to look at it. There may still be something useful for you, but if the past and the present don't fit, don't try and make them fit. Go and watch one of your other signs, your moon sign or what have you. I will be doing more of these sun with moon rising combinations, but they're quite time consuming, considering I've been half hour just shuffling. Never mind the read and the editing, and then the uploading. And, you know, it takes some time. But yeah, ask a question. I think that's everything. Oh, that Facebook group. If you want to approach me for a personal reading, you can get to me through that Facebook group. There's also a Twitter handle down there, and I think I'm also on Tumblr as Sunchild Adventures. So have a look on there if you're a Tumblr freak. So let me bring the cards up, and you'll see what I mean about the special event in a moment, assuming the computer will do what I say. Here we go. Right, so the overall energy of the reading, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So it's a time of nurturing, but also to a certain extent a time of manifestation. I'm feeling like that crown has quite a lot of authority here, and the two lions either side of it is giving it strength, giving it that authority. So the Queen of Pentacles is very much about nurturing and nurturing things in the material world, but that crown is really suggesting full-on rulership to me. Normally I ignore the crown on this sort of card, but it's really, really calling to me. So I'm assuming that yes, you are nurturing and trying to bring something into being. Now, here is the special event I was telling you about. When I pulled for the 3-card spread that I do next, we got 2 of Wands, 2 of Pentacles, 2 of Swords. Now, let me switch cameras for a second. So, you are being called to balance. You are so being called to balance. But it's also, you can say that that's angel number 222. Look it up, it's worth reading. Fortunately, because I saw this beforehand, I was able to look it up. So it's composed of 2, that element of duality, that element of bringing things together and balance, which we've got with the 2 of Wands. So you're planning here. With master number 22, which is all about building and actually manifesting in a balanced form. So it's not asking the angels to do it for you or anything like that. This is as a result of your own efforts. But what I'm getting from this is you need to be balanced with your plans if you with whatever you are moving forward with, i.e. hopefully in reference to your question. And yeah, you're going to be called to balance a little bit more than what you was expecting in the 3D material world. But there is a choice coming up. I love this particular 2 of Swords. I don't feel there's any blindness here, apart from not knowing which of the 2 paths will take. But I do feel that she's wearing the blindfold so that she can feel which path is right to take and not be distracted by, well, anything. You know, it's literally like Daredevil and his radar sense. Close off the eyes and feel forward, see which one feels the best. So, the oracle cards that revealed themselves, I've not looked at these. Well, I have looked at this one at the top, storm warning. You know, so whatever it is that you are planning, you are going to be called to protect it. Now, on the bottom of the decks, we have for the main deck 4 of Pentacles. Now, in this particular deck, it's protecting, but it's protecting with a wonderful power. It's protecting with pleasure. It is, look at how well I am doing this, you know. For some reason I've got Captain Caveman going through my head, but not as in being Neanderthal, but as in that joy that when he used to scream his Captain Caveman, you know, which I can't do, so I'm not even going to attempt it. But this is a joyous card. It is a celebration, even though it is a firm foundation with which you are protecting. And this is followed immediately by the Emperor from the second deck of cards. We'll get to that level. So there you are, Aries. That's your card. It's you are protecting what you are building with all these 2s. Let's put them back down here. And using your authority or exerting your authority within it. Building up that authority, because we immediately have King of Coins, King of Wands, King of Staves in this particular deck. But this is a burden, all right? You are not setting yourself an easy task with whatever it is that you're planning on doing out of your question. But with a lot of work, it does offer a new beginning. We have out of the Fairy Tarot, the Dreamer, who equates to the Fool. So that's why I'm really getting that sense of planning. There's more planning to be done just yet. Where you are being led to is going to take more and more planning and more attention to detail and more balancing, like tightrope walking, because there is external factors, as we've got with this storm warning, coming in that could threaten to unbalance what it is that you are trying to achieve. Because, like I say, 10 of Wands here. But interestingly, a new beginning, immediately underneath that we've got the Emperor. And what we had underneath that, that protecting is the Lovers. So this is something that you are choosing to protect. And now's the time you protect it or you don't. You know, and you just go, right, that's it. I had enough, walk away now before all the storm hits. Because you do have to worry about distractions, which is what I've got with this Orpheus card. And we have, although there's multiple levels here, I was saying that you need balance. Balance can often mean harmony. With those two twos all vibrating to the same number, there is that harmony there. There is that harmony within balance, and you are striving for harmony as well as balance during this entire process. And that you can do because Orpheus was gifted with music. But remember, he also found it, he had immense strength of will that just failed him at the last moment. And he was distracted through doubt and through fear as he journeyed through the underworld to get his lover Eurydice, who was taken from him way too soon. He was told, right, okay, she will follow you out of the underworld as long as you do not look back. But if you look back, then she will forever remain here. And at the very last minute, he turned around to see if she was coming, just as he was about to return to the physical world. But like I say, we have Heracles here as protector. So you are being called to protect something. And let's face it, Aries, you are pretty good at protecting. It is in your nature. But this is also a labour that is being put in front of you. It is a labour, as I say, with that 10 of Wands, that a labour, a burden, something that you have to accomplish if you are committing to it. Now, I'm going to come to the rest of these once they make a little bit more sense to me. We'll have a look at what it says in the tarot. But from the Oracle of Heaven and Hell, we have Leuya, I hope I pronounced that correctly, one of the Shem Hamefarash, with fruition, and Salos with forgetting. And I think there's certain, with the Orpheus card, it's a double-edged sword, this one. There's certain things you need to forget, and there's certain things you need to make sure you do not forget, come what may. And that will come clear as the process, as you are led through whatever this process is. We have the Angel of Forgiveness. I choose to forgive all those who have hurt me in the past. So that takes this sense of forgetting. It's, you know, literally forgive and forget. Those hurts that have been and gone, well, they're in the past. Okay, this is who I am now, and this is how I will move forward. Because we have from the Moonology Oracle, show the world the real you. So that forgiving act, which again is a very harmonious, very balancing act, because you're not doing it for the people who, you know, you're forgiving. You're doing it for you, so you're not carrying their weight, so they're not pulling you one way or another on that tightrope. Show the world the real you, which maybe if there'd been some grudges or some hurts that had been there, they might have been distorting the you that you was putting forward. And how to do this is going to be made plainly obvious because we have the Mirror card. Who or what is triggering you? So when you get triggered, it's going to be a huge, massive signpost to say, this is one of the things you haven't forgiven. This is one of the things you haven't worked through. But you are coming through. If you go through that process, you are going through, and this is a culmination. Look, we've got cards number 48 and 49 of the Enchanted Map Oracle. And we have Wishing Well and Talisman. Now, Talisman is very much an expression of your power, coming into your magician nature. Wishing Well is the spell that you cast to come into your own power and to come into your magician nature. And all of this forgiving, forgetting, balancing and planning is the spell that you are creating. Right, that's what the Oracle cards are telling us so far, and I hope that's been relevant to your question so far. Now, how we have that you're feeling at the moment. There has been... Okay, it looks like it's been a fairly hard time. Ten of Swords here. Where... Whatever that fairly hard time is, it's come to a close, because Ten of Swords, but it has been causing you anxiety, and I think it's still causing you a bit of anxiety, because you're still feeling reasonably isolated, and trying to figure out what the truth of the situation is, and you can't say that you know that what you know for certain is true. Now, that's really interesting because it means you cannot act on it, which is probably why you're being told to do all this balancing and forgiving stuff. Because you are feeling burdened by this at the moment, and you are considering whether there is something that you need to cut out entirely or not. King of Swords there. So, the situation that you're in. Yeah, intuition has been... This is really coming into a time where you can express your power in this situation, even as confused as you feel. We have the High Priestess, which is saying the intuition is leading you to consider what you do or don't need to cut out, but you are in mental conflict about it. But the situation is moving. You are moving. You are gathering momentum here. There is either a love offer that's come to you, or there is a new dream that you are thinking about. Do I really want to bring this into manifestation? Do I really want to bring this about? Now, King of Summer in this fairy tarot, they're really hippie woo-woo. It has a little logo on the bottom, a romantic partner you can trust, excellent advice that comes from the house, or getting involved in a cultural or creative endeavour. This is the King of Summer. Now, that, I think, is... no, spring is Wands. So summer, don't know, didn't get a booklet with it, but I really do get that slight King of Wands nature. But also with summer, with the romantic partner you can trust, that sounds like the King of Pentacles, doesn't it? You know, who is all that? So maybe if there's a romance partner coming along, I think you can take the chance of trusting them. You know, one eye open, of course, but I'm more feeling like this is you saying, right, all this stuff is over. I'm not convinced it's over and dead, but I'm going to start on this new idea, this new plan that we've been talking about all along. So I would imagine your question may well have been the lines of, shall I start with, do I start, how is my plan for whatever going, which is a plan that hasn't really got moving yet, by the looks of this, because recent efforts and recent events have made you really question this, because it's almost like you've received a harvest from previous work that just, it fell prey to external events. You know, it wasn't as lush or productive as what you was hoping, but that in and of itself was a blessing, and is what has sort of inspired this new path, because we've got the Three of Wands here. So this has been your ships coming in, believe it or not. It doesn't look like it, and it won't look like it, but it is what has cemented the idea of this new beginning, giving you the forward motion to try and manifest what this new thing is. Because I'm not saying you were wrong doing this old thing or trying to create this old thing, but it was merely a stepping stone to get you here. So let's look a bit further into the past, the recent past. Right. Oh, and here's all these twos again. So we have number 22 with double Two of Swords here. And the Two of Swords, okay, the Two of Swords surrounding this Nine of Pentacles is telling me that you were blind to the fact that really whatever it was you were doing it on your own. So no wonder you're feeling so lonely in the how you're feeling pile. And you was doing the same thing over and over again, but it did start to get some results. It did start to get some movement. There was accomplishments that you were feeling really, really proud of, but they weren't necessarily recognised as quickly as you would like, because progress in the form of the recognition of this, in the form of the outside world achievement, physical world achievement, didn't really match the strength that you felt in your accomplishment so far. It's almost you'd worked so hard on something and it was superb and it was brilliant and you were so proud of yourself and you went out into the world with, look at my thing, and nobody paid this blindest bit of attention. But that did give you, well, clarity on how to change the dream somewhat. Clarity on how to maybe... Okay, well, the phrase that's popping into my head with this Prince of Autumn is how to not put all your eggs in one basket. And that would refer me back to the 3-2 cards. What was it? Two of Swords, two of... Let me uncover them here. Two of Swords, Two of Pentacles, Two of Wands. Because it's the same energy but distributed across the 3 cards. And there is an element of not wanting to put all of your eggs in one basket because progress had been slow with this. So this is what started this recent new beginning of yours. But I do see that there is that anxiety of, well, the first bit didn't work. Do I really want to go ahead with this? Am I really sure about this? And this is like your recent thoughts that's led you to what we're just talking about. But there's at the other side, you were given the signal that it was time to progress. It was time to make the choice of either cut it out or not. So that choice I was telling you about, I think you've pretty much already made it. Certainly if you've got this far into watching the reading, yeah, you've pretty much made that choice already. And it was something that offered wish fulfillment, you know, a wonderful blossoming harvest from it. But right now it's, yeah, this is going to be great, but I'm not sure if I can have faith in it. You've got to have faith in it, but you've got to not go hell for leather for it. Okay, yes, you've got to work on it, but you've got to keep it in balance, because there's, I feel with that storm warning, there is other areas of your life that can impinge on this. That's why you're being called to protect what it is that you're working on, because maybe you didn't protect it. You were so enthusiastic about it, you didn't protect it as well as... Okay, you did protect it as well as you could do, because this is what it was supposed to happen to lead you to where you are now. But you feel that you could have protected it better, or you could have set it up better. Remember, you're still trying to search for your own inner light, but you have got support around you. There is, even though you felt like you was doing it on your own in the end, and that people weren't paying a lot of attention, there is someone who is, well, I feel like they are reminding you of your older values. So that will probably link into all that forgiveness and forgetting business that we've got over here. But they are offering that you need to strip it all down, which is the process that you have done with this new clarity and this new dream coming forward. Remember that there are rules that you need to abide by, and there has to be the right reason. Why are you doing this? If it's because it feels right, if it's because you feel that this is the right thing to do, you know, the whole in tune with your higher self, God's will, all of that business, or simply just you being the best expression of you doing this, then there will be profit and there will be support. But this is support from someone who's known you a long time and comes from the past, but they recently have been stripping down what you have achieved so far. Maybe they're the person that helped bring some of this clarity around for you. So let's have a look now at the more distant, or what I tend to call the relevant past, before we go into the future. The relevant past, now it could be 2 months ago, it could be 2 decades ago, but it's where you've learned a lesson, for good or for ill, that you are using or should be using at the moment. So, right, so there was a time in the past where you was left pretty much destitute. But I think to a point it's almost like an emotionally destitute. You're aware that there is assistance there, but you didn't want to go near it. You didn't want to access the support that was there because it felt false. It felt wrong. Even though it wasn't, and you know rationally that it wasn't. You know, it's like when you move back to your parents, for example, you really don't want to move back to your parents because even though they love you and you love them, hopefully, it feels like a step backwards. And you chose to go through that time of lack and that time of poverty, which was plonked on you, whether this is emotionally, financially, but it's like, no, I am going to weather through this on my own. I have my own mission, and what I'm feeling from this, and this is weird, but remember 5 is the number of freedom, as well as all the other things it represents, is, no, I'm going to do it myself. Yeah, all right, everything's collapsed and everything's disappeared, and I am without whatever, you know, a lover, a job, a passion for something or other because it's broken, whatever. But this was a really useful time because it gave you a whole new dream where you knew the time was to move forward, to bring things into manifesting. And that in and of itself, that going through that period of lack, going through that period of just standing on your own 2 feet and concentrating within, brought you some form of victory. It brought you some form of authority, and it helped redefine you. It helped change the rules that you wanted to live by in your own world. And this started quite a manifestation phase. Progress was slow but steady. And I think you had an immense clarity about how much your intuition can assist you on these projects and on this path forward. We have the Empress here, Ace of Swords, the Moon, King of Wands. So you've already been trained on how to start listening to your intuition, or take advantage when your intuition kicks in. Let's put it that way, because listening to your intuition, the act of listening is a passive act. Acting on what you have heard, that's the active act, but intuition itself is passive. So when I say you learn to listen to your intuition, it's 2 things. One, it's learn to hear it, see it, feel it, whatever. And then it's learning to act upon that on the basis of that was what my intuition said. So they're two separate things. But what I'm concentrating on here was that act of listening, that act of noticing those tiny little signposts and those tiny little things that pop up and go this way, this way. So you had quite a lot of happiness and abundance from this. So why is there this change? Whatever you was working on, I think something changed, because on the basis of that lesson that you learned in the past, you've become used to a certain amount of abundance and used to a certain amount of synchronicity occurring. Six of Swords. So it came to an abundant, fertile time where you was happy, but then it's like you had to move. And as you moved, as a natural progression, maybe of what you was doing, or maybe due to external circumstances, you found yourself left a little bit more on your own. And again, the high priest, the Hierophant here, he's here. It was somewhere else as well. I think it was down here. He's appearing quite a lot. So there's very much about matching your own code of behavior, matching your own spirituality with what you actually do and with each other. You know, there's so again, concentrating on that forgiving aspect, because there are going to be elements where you go, I'm not going to let somebody do that to me again. Well, whoever you're talking about, they weren't the person that did it to you, and that's in the past. But yeah, I do feel that as a natural progression, you went from a wonderful, abundant, happy time to a feeling a little more isolated, feeling a little bit more without. So that's why you're questioning at the moment. Do I go ahead with this? Is this the right path for me? And what I feel from all of this is it's all been the right path. You've had that wonderful time. You've had that building time. You had that time of poverty, and then you rebuilt yourself from it. And then that matured into a lovely, happy time. Then you were caused to move, whatever that means. You know, move relationship, move house, move job, what have you. You've moved in one way, shape or form. And then all of a sudden you're feeling a little bit more isolated. You're not necessarily feeling as aware of everything that's going on around you. What you was working towards hasn't quite panned out. And now you're like, well, I will change it slightly then. And now I've got to decide whether I'm going to do it or not. Right. So that's where we are. That's the present. But conflicts that you are having, possibly conflict with others, is going to be, or is subsiding now, is going to come to a close. And I feel that it's almost like you're victorious, but there's another element of going to the world, look what I've found. Now, you just want to do that to a chosen few, to be quite honest. This Five of Swords, if I look at it through the look what I found filter, these two people that are wandering off, they're friends, and it's almost like they've lost interest, or they don't see the point in carrying on that precise direction. And then there's you appearing not quite on the horizon going, look what I found. I found them. We can move forward. Next stage complete. Which is a form of wish fulfillment for you, which gives you a tremendous Ace of Wands. You can't see that on the camera, it's too yellow. Gives you that tremendous forward motion coming, where you are going to be presenting it to a larger audience. Page of Wands here. But there is some form of pain and heartache. Maybe whoever you have been clashing heads with Not all of them come back. There may be one person that just wanders off being miserable, in which case I'm well tempted to say, let them, because you have the victory. Summer is cups. Listen to your guidance. Do not be distracted by those that wander away. They'll come back, or they won't. Either way, it's okay. Because you are surging ahead forward. Two of Swords again. But this time, this too feels to me far more like you're going back for another go and saying, right, now see what I can do. This is to a different person, I think. But there's, you are, and you are guided in your intuition with this, which does bring opportunities. Now that's beautiful, because that looks to me like a magic bean and a beanstalk. Okay, it's a baby beanstalk. It's not really a baby bean, but that will grow and take you into the land of giants. High Priestess here twice. So if you cannot be, High Priestess that one and High Priestess that one. So you can't deny that you are bringing two things together and that you are being guided. You are being guided by your own intuition. You are guiding you. This is you doing the work here. But I also feel that there is a slightly, not standoffish, a slightly stood back feminine energy that's watching over you. And almost like, ever so often, it's like a cat playing with a mouse, just going, that way, that way. But it's so subtle that I feel that it's more, your intuition is louder than the I don't want to say manipulations, because that makes it sound negative, and it's not in the slightest bit negative, but the manipulations of this feminine energy that's just trying to steer you very, very slightly, so gently, just like the most gentlest touch, to show you what your own inner strength is. Now, you have to be strategic. There are, again, about this forgiving and forgetting business, there are secrets that are coming up from the past that may cause you to feel like you are wanting to almost go to war, but you don't have to. Have the strength card twice in that pile. Almost have the strength not to go to war, but to just define your own boundaries again. And again, that is with forgiveness, because I think news will come in that could end up with you raging. You know, it's like from some secret from long ago, this Seven of Swords here. But I love this particular Emperor card. This is from the Fountain Tarot, where the Emperor is there almost within some form of, or stretching within, reaching within to some form of higher dimensional cube. He's overlaying that higher dimensional cube onto the real dimensional cube there. You are reshaping what you are stood on. As I said, you are reshaping your foundations at the moment. And so that involves that forgiveness and forgetting. And that involves the doing what you have been doing, but just that very slightly differently, where you've got that new clarity. And don't be tempted to go to war. Whatever this secret is, do not be tempted to go to war, because there are external events that risk you wanting to abandon this dream. Now, all up until this point, I felt that this dream, even though it keeps changing slightly and changing slightly, it's a good thing. It is a positive thing here. But there is Wheel of Fortune, 8 of Cups, 10 of Swords. So these secrets from the past, you're calling them to an end, which you may well be already. Now, these 6 piles here, these represent the present. So there's a present line that goes through here. Sometimes it wanders that way. Sometimes it wanders here. There's all of these cards and all of these piles seem so very interconnected. This is all going on at once. So I think I may be talking about more than one thing here. There's not just the dream that you are wanting to put forward or the task that you are wanting to put forward. There's secrets from the past, there's grudges, there's family, karma, all sorts of stuff, all wrapped up in here that you are slowly unpicking, which explains why you really need that balance and that linking with your higher self. That constant high priestess again is the card number 2. 2 of Wands, 2 of Pentacles, 2 of Swords. That with this 2 of Swords, I'm almost feeling now that it's you being deliberately blind to the necessity of making a choice of one path or another. Because in the correct form of balance, you can just remain where you are and see what approaches you from either path, continuing doing what you're doing. Because there is clarity coming. But again, like I say, it is all about the 7 of Swords again here. There's when secrets are revealed, secrets from the past, I believe. Well, then again, there's not going to be secrets from the future, is there? But secrets from the past, that it's not all revealed. So that's why you shouldn't go to war, because there's going to be another layer and another layer and another layer. And that's probably why you're better cultivating with that forgiveness more than anything else, because this period is going to come to an end. You are nearly towards the end here. But it's also a matter of you need to keep yourself slightly separate from all of these secrets that are being revealed. You need to step back. I don't want you to dive in, because if you dive in, you're going to end up going to war. You're going to end up getting all involved in the push and the pull of this situation. So, a potential future. So we've got the Justice, 4 of Cups, the Fountain, 5 of Wands, Strength, Release. Right, you may not be going to war, but I do believe that you may feel that you are still in conflict with somebody over something, but you have to make the decision to follow it and to go, no, bored with that, I'm going to concentrate on what my intuition, what the divine is telling me. And that is where my harvest, my benefits, the Fountain, I rather see that much like, not the Fountain of Youth, Horn of Plenty, but Horn of Plenty on an emotional, spiritual, magical aspect, giving you the energy, giving you the wisdom, giving you the insight, giving you the calmness. You know, that's the important thing, the calmness of the balanced spirit, because you have the strength to go through it, but you need to make the decision to release it and call it to an end. And I feel that if you are keeping yourself distant from this situation, it means that you can come into it at the last minute and go, right, no more secrets. You can continue trying to balance all these secrets, but I think you may get bored with the, are we still doing this? You know, there's there is going to come a time where you are going to have to cut out the influence that these secrets are having. But the spotlight may well fall on you. So this is why don't dive into that war. Not just yet. You're the knight in shining armour. Oh, that's what I could call the reading. You are the knight in shining armour. But you're the knight in shining armour that can come in at the very end of the day and go, right, enough of this. That's true, that's true. That's not, that's rubbish, that's valid. Now, can everybody just shake hands and get on now, please? Because we're doing this, whatever the this is. Hopes and fears, because you're worried that you're constantly going to have to be defensive over what it is that you're trying to achieve and or these secrets. Because, like I say, there's the two storylines going on here. But it's like the... Nine's a rebirth, but this is Nine of Swords in the hopes and fears. It's like the anxiety keeps rising like a phoenix. You know, it's like, oh God, no, not this again. Am I so trapped that I cannot cut this out? How much can I nurture this? But there is a chance of a transformation where the world goes in your favour. But I'd rather define the steps to that. So that there's, what's the phrase? Non-detachment would be useful. A sense of non-detachment. Now, you're only going to get that sense of non-detachment by forgiving. So, whatever it is that you are thinking and feeling and a bit about now, forgive now. So when those secrets come up, they will reveal another bit that needs forgiving. But you've done half the work already. You've taken a bite out of the cake, so there's not much left to finish. So we have, yeah, there is a certain amount of pain that's going to, and anxiety that's going to have to be dealt with here. Things are getting shaken down to their very foundations by other people, and this plan that you've been moving forward, it's gone through one change. There is going to be more change yet. The change has not finished, but it does offer you a new beginning. It offers you motion, victory. Once it appears, oh my God, everything's gone wrong, that's when everything starts going right. And that's when you're going to find that you've more friends than you thought you have, you've better family than you thought you had, and things will start moving, but you are still in that metamorphosis stage at the moment. So let's have a look at the oracle cards. Yes, the unexpected. Remember, there's quite a few wheels of fortune around here. So the unexpected is telling me that it's not just these secrets. It's like weird things coming in out from the that affects either the family secrets or the project that you're trying to do. The landscape around you is shifting, and that's what this Tower card here is telling me. You, as much as you are making that stable foundation, you can't make that stable foundation until the earth stops quaking, and you are in the middle of that earthquake at the moment. So you need to be letting go. Like, what was I saying about detachment? Because this is your journey of coming into power. And you may well find that you are needing professional assistance in the project that you are trying to push forward as it changes. You know, get that advice. But also with the family secrets, there may well, with that amount of swords and kings of swords that appeared here, there's an element of maybe some legal issues might be looked at. Again, is why the forgiveness aspect is so important. But you've been given some quiet time in the past, so you know the value of it. Use it again. Make sure you take that quiet time to look after your health here. But I really like this one. I am a work in progress, but I am on the right path. So just remember that at the moment you are still in progress. So that's why the dream keeps getting knocked back. That's why it keeps getting distracted by these family secrets or old secrets. But you are building your sacred temple once the ground stops moving. You are achieving that divine alchemy, because all of this, you manufactured a code of behavior. Now, with the forgiving, you may find that parts of that code of behavior needs revisiting. But that's okay. You know, it can change. But we have... Right, Pythia warns, in a way, a little knowledge can be a dangerous thing. So you know what I was saying about those secrets? There's always going to be extra layers. So don't go reacting the minute that you find something out. Well, don't go reacting the minute you find something out, because there is likely to be another layer to uncover, and possibly another one after that. And so you can use the knowledge that you gain the wrong way. Yes, you need to be curious, but you also need to have that stand back and detached balance. Don't need to discuss that one. Reflection with the winter solstice. So maybe that's giving us some form of date. It's also saying that everything, all of this that's going on at the minute, it will come to an end. It will come to peace eventually. There will be communion. You have to listen to your instincts through here. We know all that. We've got all these high priestesses. Be open to healing information. Now, if that doesn't sum up what I was saying about the not reacting because there's another layer, as each layer is unfurled, then forgive, you know, and do whatever that takes to forgive. And the main person you're forgiving is you, and the main thing you are forgiving is yourself for having believed this thing or having been told this thing or what have you. And the other people, yes, forgive them for what you believe them to have done, but there's multiple layers here that will get revealed time after time, which is what that rainbow is telling me. But as we have Father Sky, trust in the unknown. So as these weird events suddenly knock you for six, just trust them, because you are a work in progress. Remember, I am a work in progress. So just trust them. Make sure that you are maintaining your balance, because with the weird stuff going on in the world around you, and then the secrets, and then how you are trying to push ahead with your own dreams, that's three separate things there. That balance is required. So the final thing we have is from the Dictionnaire Infernal, or Daemon Tarot, or Les Cartes Infernales. We've got Focus. Now, I was quite pleased to see, I watched The House with the Clock in Its Walls. So maybe there's a symbol there for you in that film. But the main villain that they talk about in there that you don't really see is the Goetic spirit Focus. Now, he's a knight and a president of hell with 29 military units under his command. He rides a pale horse and carries a lance, and demonographers say he has a long white beard. Now, I did just double check what it says in this Daemon Tarot, because the meanings for the Daemon Tarot are slightly different to the meanings in Goetic magic, and the astrological meanings associated with the degrees of each entity. And also this was bookmarked with the Ace of Swords. So Focus will offer clarity. So if you're into Goetic magic, talk to Focus. If not, divination, focus on gaining eloquence and grace, and to be that knight in shining armor. Eloquence and grace, that's what you're after at the moment. Now bear in mind that this is a culmination of so many things, but with the North Node in Gemini, this is in your 12th house. There is all sorts of things coming to the surface and coming to be finished. And this is why it's going to be a tough period, but a good period. This is offering you a lot. Okay, so Aries Sun, Cancer rising, and Cancer moon. Sorry, I forgot about you. If this means anything to you, comment down below, press the like and subscribe button, and while you're passing, I'd be very, very grateful. The next readings that will come out will be the monthlies. I might do another one of these today, and then I'm going to start working on the monthlies. But I am also doing Western and Chinese zodiac sign combinations. So, like, if you want, well, I've done Aries. Ooh. I've done Aries dog, but if you want an Aries something else, let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, stay tuned. See you soon. Good luck. Cheers.